we want to talk a little bit about why mentorship matters. That's open for anybody's insights or views. Like, why are you here? For me, mentorship matters because it just feels good to impact others' personal and professional growth. And that's how I would define success, just in general terms. You're positively impacting someone else's personal and professional growth. Okay? From a mentee's perspective, I would say we all value, benefit from others' experiences and stories. You know, how did they overcome similar challenges? You know, I think that that's the value from a mentee's perspective. The mutual benefits of both mentor and mentee, well, there's mutual learning. I'm engaged with 2 mentees now in industries I've never been exposed to before. The issues that they have are sort of industry agnostic, so I'm able to contribute, but I'm also learning a lot about their challenges and opportunities. Growth, network expansion. Yeah, these were people in the club that I had not met before. So I'm very privileged to get to know them and have a relationship with them. And there's another factor coming up. I think as the mentor-mentee relationship evolves and you sort of grow deeper into it, opening up your network to your mentees is another value add, potentially, on an as-needed basis. Whether somebody needs to speak to a financier or something of that nature, depending on the level of trust you have and the willingness, that would be an opportunity as well. Let's spend a little time about what makes a great mentor. Listening actively and asking thoughtful questions. That's pretty basic, right? What's active listening? Active listening for me is you show up on the call, your mobile phone is off, you're not in a distracting place like an airport or restaurant, and you're engaged in me as the mentee. You have a comfortable space, you're focused on what I'm saying, and I understand I'm being heard. I'm not another noise on top of the layer that's surrounding you. That for me is active listening. And then validating that by asking thoughtful questions to what I'm asking or what I'm talking about. Be approachable and open-minded, of course. You have to let people speak. You know, I don't think it's the mentor's responsibility to sort of draw the mentee into their view of the world, let's say, and impose that on them. Provide constructive feedback. I think that's part of the trust-building process that, you know, if you see things that maybe the mentee is not doing properly, that you have that conversation with them. Lead by example, be a role model. I think that's part of the essence of being a mentor, is sharing your war stories. Okay? You were facing this is how I faced it and overcame it. Encourage independence and confidence in the mentee. That all ties back to positive impact at the end of the day as a measure of success. You want somebody to come out of this experience stronger than when they went in.
So today we're going to talk about 3 aspects of mentorship. One is how mentors can help change your life, then different levels of mentorship, and last but not least, how for you to approach a mentor so hopefully they can mentor you. So stick around till the very end to get the PDF of everything we're talking about today in regards to mentoring. So let me get right into it. The number 1 point in why and how a mentor can change your life. It's really the most important point is speed. Here's what I mean by speed. The right mentor can teach you what you can learn in 2 years, in 6 months. The question becomes where a lot of people say, you don't need a mentor. You can still win without a mentor. Are they wrong? No, they're absolutely right. However, what you can do on your own and figuring out on your own by taking, whatever books you read and all this other stuff and no one-on-one relationship with a mentor, that may take you 12 years. That may take you 15 years. But with the right mentor, you may do it in 6 years or 5 years or 4 years. The main difference is you're condensing time frames if you have the right mentor, and you're lengthening it if you try to do it all on your own. Point number 2, the right mentor gives you a safe zone. Very similar to how Matt Damon in the movie Good Will Hunting finally felt safe around Robin Williams, and he opened up. The right mentor is going to make you feel that way. You can be vulnerable and really have deeper conversations with them to help you elevate to the next level. There's a brother and a sister team that I'm mentoring. They run a medical billing business themselves, and they're doing very well. But the older sister and the younger brother, 6 years or so, they have a fighting going on between two of them. And the younger brother is the CEO, and she's the COO. And they're fighting. It's like, well, sometimes she's condescending towards me and all this other stuff. And you know, I have these fears and insecurity, and she messes with my ego. You see, you can't talk about that publicly with other people. You need an outlet to have that conversation with them. And we addressed it, and they understood how to go about it, and they moved on, and their business growing. They're doing well. Those types of conversations has to be had somewhere, because if you just try to bottle it in with your partner, you can't really get past it. You're going to hit a plateau every time. So the other benefit of having a great mentor is you can process issues with a person that you feel safe talking to them about. Point number 3, the right coaches always give you an out, meaning it's a binary. They'll give you their feedback and they'll say, look, here's what I would do if I'm in your situation. You don't have to do this. You have these choices. You can do this, you can do this, you can do this. If you do this, these are the consequences. These are the positives. If you do this, these are the consequences. If you do this, this is what's going to happen. Which way do you want to go? Let's process it together, and you go from there. But the right mentors are not going to give you this. They're going to give you multiple ways to get to where you want to go to, and then you're going to have to make a decision which route you want to take. Point number 4, the right mentor is not afraid of challenging you. Simple as that. They'll say to you, yeah, I think you're just making excuses. You're like, what? Yeah, I think you're I think you're afraid. Well, what do you mean? Yeah, I think you're being lazy. I think you're being cocky right now. You've been making a lot of money, and quite frankly, I think you forgot who you were. I think you think you're better than your employees. And you totally forgot about what it was like to build a company when you were smaller. What happened to you? Do you not sit there and talk about the vision and the mission of the company anymore? I feel like you've gone a little bit too much about just money and the lifestyle and all this stuff. You've forgotten what really matters. Why you started this company in the first place. I can't believe you said that to me. I'm not trying to make you a friend. I'm not trying to make you happy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're amazing all the time. I'm telling you, you're getting in your own way right now. Go back and read the original reason why you started this company so you can remember it was hard. Then came logic. Now you're only thinking about. They're willing to have a conversation like that with you. Great mentors will do that to you. And most of the time, you're going to feel a little bit uncomfortable with the right mentors. So point number 5, say you get a new mentor, okay? And you start getting close to this mentor. The more you get closer to this advisor, mentor, whatever you want to call it, eventually, you're going to get access to their circle. So their contacts of people they do business with is now yours as well, okay? And by the way, typically, the best mentors are a little bit protective of giving the access too early, because they don't know what your motives are yet. Maybe they'll watch you a little bit, and then they'll give you a little bit of a sprinkle of access. And you're like, oh, okay, that was kind of cool. But they're not yet sprinkling the real access that you got. And then eventually you're like, oh, okay, I've really earned this person's trust. Then they open it up. Once they open up their access of their contacts to you, you go from living in a world like this to living in a world like this. So there is just as much pressure on you to deliver, on you being serious to commit to your mentor and work your advisor, because if you don't, they're going to go find somebody else. Great mentors don't lack mentees. It's mentees that lack great mentors. The market is very much looking for great mentors. Mentees are everywhere. Everybody's asking, can you mentor me? Can you mentor me? Can you mentor me? Can you mentor me? From great mentors. Everybody is. But the mentors hand select. So once you go in, you earn the right to be mentored by them. You're going to get access to who they have, which can completely change your life. Point number 6 is style. If you ever notice someone's style of how they are, how they communicate, how they process issues, how they solve problems, and you go and find out who mentored them, you will notice similarity with the style of play, okay? Style of decision making. This is in baseball, this is in sports, this is in business, this is in raising money. This is in anything that you pretty much do. You're going to get that person's style of leadership. So the right mentor style, if they mentor you long enough, you essentially are taking and receiving their style of processing that you start implementing to your life. And by the way, what's crazy about it is 6, 12, 24, 36 months from now, when you start picking that up, all of a sudden you'll do something, you'll say, oh my God, that's what she does. Well, wow, that's crazy. I'm naturally now doing it and I'm not even aware of it. That's what's going to happen if you got the right mentor. So point number 7 is the right mentor gives you a different lens. Meaning, if you have this lens, you see the world, and you put the lens of a mentor over, then all of a sudden you're seeing things you're not seeing anymore because they're creative in the way they do things. Meaning, they're creative ways on how for you to raise 10 million bucks, but you didn't have that before. They'll share with you creative ways on how to hire the right CFO you're trying to hire that you didn't have before. The creative ways how for you to expand in a new market that you didn't know how to do before, launch a new product that you didn't know how to do before, build a new division that you didn't know how to do before, because they'll allow you to borrow their lens and they're creative in the way they got to where they're at right now. So the right mentor will share with you creative ways of getting things that you want now. Point number 8 is when you borrow an advisor's way of thinking, a crisis that was a 9 before is all of a sudden a 5. A crisis that would make you lose sleep at night, like, oh my God, it's the end of the world. They're like, no, here's all you need to do. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, so it's not an 8? No, it's a 4. Oh, got it. Okay, so let me go ahead and do that. So while you feel like it's the end of the world, they make you feel it's okay. It's part of the process. And here's what you need to do, which makes you be a little bit more poised and you make better decisions, not at a place of reacting and emotional, but at a place of reason, logic, and vision. Point number 9 is very simple. It's accountability. If you have a great leader that's not afraid of holding you accountable, you're going to improve in areas that you're not paying attention to. It's that simple. You need accountability, and the best mentors are great at holding people accountable.
So let's talk a little bit about the mentoring process. Pretty simple here. Step 1, establish trust. We do that at the outset when we're deciding whether we're going to have the relationship or not. And I think trust sustains itself in a number of ways throughout the relationship. You have to come prepared for the mentee. You have to show up consistently. You have to be listening actively, as we said earlier. And like I said, lead from the heart. People understand if you care or not, or you're just going through the motions. Yeah. Provide the guidance, share the experiences, offer resources, guide the mentee through their challenges. And that just comes with preparation for the meeting as well. So there's going to be a little maybe alone time where you're thinking about how's this call going to go? What are the topics maybe we're going to talk about? What was the takeaways from the last meeting? That should be the segue into the next meeting. So there should be continuity. Encourage growth, push for personal and professional development while respecting the mentee's autonomy. Like Patrick said, the mentee has a goal, give them options in how to reach it and let them sort of decide what's best. Continuously reflect and adjust how things are going well, if things are not going well. Learn how to adjust and deal with those issues up front. Pretty straightforward. Open and honest communication. Practice the active listening techniques. Be there in the moment with the person. It's just a small amount of time, and you really owe them that courtesy. Something that I would recommend, everybody has their good days and bad days. Spend a little time up front just getting to know how the person's day is going. If you sense a difficult or sensitive conversation coming and their world is falling apart that day, maybe you want to park it till next time. So get a sort of cue on how they're feeling on the day. And just, practice professionalism, having difficult conversations with tact and professionalism. Lead with the heart. Talk to them as you would want to be talked to in sensitive matters. Pretty straightforward, and there's an abundance of YouTube videos that you can dive deep on any of these to get more information. So that's pretty much it. Key qualities of a great mentor. You heard from myself. You heard from Patrick, David. You're going to learn and have a view from your own experiences. The important thing is, I think, in terms of this community going forward, that we have the chance to come together periodically and share our experiences on a confidential basis, of course, but get to know what's working and what's not. I think there's tremendous amount of learning just from hearing from others and how things are going and how can we make the program better. The mentoring process is pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of forms and checklists and things that I had to go through in my Big Four environment. We're keeping it heartfelt and sort of simplistic at administrative level. And the communication and feedback, both with the mentee and the community. This is an opportunity, I think, not only to add value to fellow club members, but it could be a catalyst for a program that others in the community of Dubai, other organizations may want to adopt. If people are finding value here, they might take that back to their other organizations and say, we really need to do this.